Greetings, everyone in the sci-fiction awesomeness. My name is Owen Cotter, and we are coming to you live via simulcast on all channels on sci-fiction goodness, Facebook, Twitch, X, and YouTube. Hope everybody's having a beautiful day. Today's guest is none other than ICCC founder Michael Havens. He will be joining us here in the next 5-10 minutes. We've got some events and things, including ICCC, coming up here soon. Let me go over their site real quick, get that on the screen. Everybody's having a good day. Everybody pouring the broadcast. If you have any comments or ask questions to Michael, feel free to ask him. He knows a lot about many things, sci-fi, Star Wars, collecting, everything. This is their website here, ICCC, and Nashville is in Nashville and out in Tennessee. Amazing event. They've got a whole guest lineup. I'll let him talk about all the goodies they've got going on here at the ICCC, May 16th to the 18th of 2025. So it's coming up real soon, everybody. What else we got going on before that? Babe, what else we got before that?
We have the stand control.
Yeah.
That's next week.
Stan Cottrell.
Then we have ICCC.
Yep.
Following that.
Yep.
And then nothing in June yet.
Nothing in June yet, but
then we have STC.
San Diego Comic-Con. Goodness, in July. That's going to be a packed next 3 months. Mm-hmm. All kind of goodies. On this coming week, May 6th through the 9th, we're going to be in Georgia. Stan Cottrell, the real-life inspiration for Forrest Gump, who did the run in the movie, is doing a 1,000-mile run across the entire state of Georgia in 40 days for charity. A lot of big media is going to be on that. I think Yahoo, Google, Netflix. They've done a lot of big stuff going on. He's going to be on, I believe, Drew Barrymore's show and Good Morning America for the big charity race down there. So if you're in Trilith outside of Atlanta, come join us on that. Going to be a lot of fun and a lot of good causes for that. And then after that, we go to ICCC in Nashville, Tennessee. Let Michael get on the horn and talk more about that. Anybody watching this broadcast, if you like Michael as an ICCC group, or if you're really interested in knowing more about collecting or what's going on at the event in May, I believe it's 16th through the 18th. Yes, it's the 7th year they've done this awesome event. May 16th to the 18th, 2025. It's going to be in, it's near it. It's Murfreesboro, let me get this right, Murfreesboro, Tennessee, at the Conference Center Boulevard, which is going to be at the Embassy Suites Hotel, and it has a big convention center. It's going to be a massive event. They're going to all these guests line up. There's a big banner up there. All these people here. It's like probably 30 guests or something like that. You got everybody here from Katie Sackhoff, played Bo-Katan, and she was also in Battlestar, voice actors, including our friend Stephen Costantino. Who else? You got Warwick Davis and his son. A lot of people that work with the old Kenner Star Wars line, and anybody. Star Wars Theory, all the Ninja Turtle actors from the original live action movies and beyond. It's a lot of fun. If you're ever looking for getting some premium and vintage and a little bit of modern sci-fi goodness and props too, come on down to ICCC. Absolutely amazing event. I'll let Michael tell you a little bit more about it and the history of what they've got going on. This is their 7th year here. Big 7-year anniversary of ICCC. And there's the banner, and it's a cool video too. I like that. So you got it all going on there, all goodies all the time. If you're just joining us, my name is Owen C. Cotter, and you're watching SciFiction on all digital live stream simulcast goodness. And I see we got something going on here. We got some other stuff. There's that. Making sure the screen share there. Got 2 screens, 1 screen. Make sure I got my screens right there. But you can invite up to 10 people. We had about 6 people. Is it 6 people there today? The entire band of the Flux Capacitors on before Universal Fan Fest nights. By the way, we're going to be launching a whole bunch of content from Universal Fan Fest nights. We got more photos, more videos, lots more goodies to come, and stuff from Level Up Expo. We've got some interview segments with the creator of Love, Death, and Robots. Got a really great interview with him at Netflix. Sent that up. Thank you, Netflix. Some of the PM Studios game development company is based out of Las Vegas, Nevada. They were gracious enough to set us up with some amazing interviews with some of the production programmers and developers of these amazing games, including the gentleman, I believe he's from the Netherlands, who created Yuka's Free Replay. It's the new continuation of the original game. I hope I got that right. But it's an amazing game. You should check that out. And there's one called Bandit Trap. It's kind of like Home Alone. It's a interesting game. You set little traps, and it's like a little game. And there's another one called Table Flip or something like that. Yeah, Table Flip. You basically it's a game to kind of get out stress. If you're stressed out, you basically can flip over tables, and it's like kind of like a level up thing. It's pretty cool. At Level Up Expo, what better place to have that? But anyways, we're going to be coming to you from Georgia next week, and then a week later, ICCC in beautiful Tennessee, whatever the name of that place. It's right outside Nashville. So I'll let Michael tell you a little bit more about that and what they've got going on at the event and all the goodies. If you want to go to our website at SciFiction.com, if you want to follow us on social media, we are everywhere on social media. We are here on YouTube at SciFiction Official. We're trying to get those numbers up. We got us on Facebook at SciFiction COM and Twitter and TikTok at SciFiction, just SciFiction on that one. YouTube, definitely check that out. We're simulcasting on YouTube now as well as Facebook, Twitch, and X. It's going to be a good broadcast. Always enjoy talking with Michael about it. We got a lot of people pouring in here. So we got some chat comments here, it looks like. Yo, Justin Tony, what's up, man? He talking about sci-fi. Goodness, that guy's awesome. Coming to us from X. See, blast Justin up there. Yo, not Yo Joe, just Yo. That's awesome, man. That's very cool. If you have any questions for Michael, this is the time. He's getting ready to gear up the event in about a week and a half. Roughly 2 weeks is ICCC. There it is, May 16th through the 18th of 2025 in beautiful Tennessee.
No corporations.
No corporations, just fans. That's right. Amazing event. He puts on them. This is their 7th year. If you can see in the video there, he's got everything from cosplay to live music too. I'll let him talk a little bit about that. He's got a lot of great bands out there. Play jam out and create some really, really cool music. Just everything. If you're looking for some vintage Star Wars or vintage sci-fi collectibles or actors or anything, programming, music, I think they may have karaoke. They had it last year. They have all kind of stuff. This is the place to be. Very family friendly, a lot of fun, a lot of good stuff. The future of conventions, literally, I love the font on that. That's really cool. Yeah, it's cool. So we've got all kind of goodies coming to you. And, well, he's got this coming to you. And we're going to be coming to you from there and many other places over this next 3 months. What else we got going on before Comic-Con? We got some other stuff going on. There's some filming projects, right? Some other stuff, yeah. Whole bunch of goodies. I think Michael is on the digital awesomeness here. Let me bring him on the grid here. Activating warp speed. No, wonder light speed. Boom, there he is. Hey, Michael, how's it going, man? Can you hear me? So I got him on there. His audio's up. See his audio here. We got our audio up. Audio is activated. Can you hear me, Michael? He's powering up the flux capacitor. We'll talk about the event here.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. There he is. Let me
I didn't realize I'm at my fancy pants computer, so I got this Yeti microphone thing, and if I don't turn it on separate, it doesn't work. Here, let me pull it over here.
Very cool. How's your day going, man?
Good, brother. Good. Just doing sorry, I'm messing with the mic. Just doing a bunch of the back end on the website, stuff like that.
We got the website here now. The future of convention. I love that font y'all chose for the future. That looks dope, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah, been slapping it together. The funny thing, I just said it the other day. I was like, the funniest thing about running a convention is that you work so hard to build such an in-depth, excessive website, just to literally delete it the day after and start again.
I saw that post. That was awesome, dude. That was cool, dude. Yeah, it looks great. You got the shuttle Tidarium flying across the screen, man.
Thanks. It's got the ICCC on the back of the Tidarium.
It's like I'm in a kaleidoscope too, looking through.
Yeah, man. Well, if you turn up the volume, it does like a slow burn and then an explosion type situation.
Thing here. That's awesome. Very cool.
Don't worry, it's legal. I own the song.
I'm about to say that music's awesome. It's not Star Wars, but it's pretty cool, dude. So tell us about, the events. This is the 7th year y'all have done this event. It's really built up. Tell us about what we got in store for this year on year 7.
Yeah, brother. Well, we've been doing it since 2018, and it's 100% fan run. I own 100% of it. My wonderful wife helps me out with all the back end stuff. Yeah. And then we have a bunch of volunteers and stuff that help out with everything else. So it is truly one of the only 100% fan run conventions. And what we do because of that is we listen to the fans. So whenever people give us feedback or tell us things they like or don't like, we try to focus on the ones they like and try to fix the ones they don't like. So stuff does change every year, and we besides the growth and the bigger name guest stars and stuff like that every year and the better facilities, we also change certain things like I don't know, the way the ticketing works or the way the lines work or the way there isn't food and drink on top of the vendor tables. Because see, our vendor tables are so different than everybody else's. It's like really rare, expensive stuff. Well, not everything.
There's
I mean,
some cool
there's stuff for
on the table.
everybody.
Yeah.
But you get the rare stuff too,
Oh, yeah.
and so you don't really want somebody eating like a barbecue sandwich and having a beer over like a $30,000 Jawa.
Yeah, with action figure sculpture. Yeah, I hear you on that, man.
So that's why we do all those little things, and those little tweaks make it better and better. And this year we finally have a venue that is a hotel attached to an actual convention center.
Yeah, I saw that. Y'all changed the location. Talk a little bit about that location. We've got the hotel here on the site.
Yeah, it's awesome. Well, it's 3 times the size of our last location.
Oh, wow.
And since it's Embassy Suites, a lot of people see with this convention, as opposed to other conventions, usually what happens is 5 o'clock rolls around or 6 o'clock, whenever the con closes, and everybody scatters and goes their separate ways.
Right.
At ICC Con, it's essentially a 3-day sleepover for a bunch of old nerds.
Nice.
So what happens is we all hang out at the hotel, and people buy, sell, and trade at night, and they hang out, tell stories, and they have drinks there, and they eat there, and it ends up really being a sleepover because you're just hanging out with your friends.
Right.
So the way I do it is completely different than every other convention, and I actually have found this out because every time I go to try to rent a place, they always look like me, like I got 3 heads, because I walk in and I go, "How much is it to rent your entire hotel?" And they go, "Well, what do you mean? Like the venue, the this, the that?" No. I mean like every single room, every single inch, just so you guys leave us alone for three days, as long as we don't break nothing.
Right.
And so they give me an insane number, and I say, okay, and I sign that contract. And then what happens is we put up the room block and everything. So when people buy their rooms, they're essentially buying them from me, because I already bought them from the hotel. But that allows us to do something special. You're not going to walk into a, 40-person quinceañera and a 200-person wedding at this venue. It's just going to be nerds like us, because you see the way I even advertise it. I only put the link for the hotel on the webpage, and then I only release that webpage to our groups and stuff like that. So it ends up
getting sold out completely. It looks like the whole thing.
Oh yeah, the hotel is completely sold out. Nice. Little hot tip that I have learned over the years of attending conventions: always check the hotel. Just give it a shot. You never know if somebody just canceled their room yesterday. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect the numbers because we've already hit our percentage in and everything, and it is completely full. But you never know when somebody's going to cancel, like today or tomorrow. So always give it a shot first. You can't find it, there's like 6 other hotels right around it that are very, very nice. So you'll be fine. It's just, if you're really into that 3-day sleepover, the Host Hotel is the place to be. And it does book up super quick. So for future years, make sure you grab your hotel room immediately when it pops.
For year 8, it's coming up. It's going to be a decade in 3 years. I can't wait.
Crazy, right? I don't know what I'm going to do for year 10, man. We got to think of something cool.
You got to get something real cool. Now, you've got a lot of great guests here at the event this year. I saw today, I don't know, no problem. Yeah, I saw today, or maybe it was yesterday, Katie Sackhoff's doing her podcast from there. You talk a little about that. What's going on with that?
Yeah, well, it was actually crazy. So what happened? Katie Sackhoff's like super famous and does, well, obviously.
Battlestar, Star Wars, you know?
Right. So she's constantly doing stuff. And now with the podcast, she's constantly doing stuff. So what happened is I was trying to get her to come, right? And then what happened is she wasn't able to come because she had to do something on Friday and she had to do something on Monday. She has to record the biggest podcast in the world.
Which one's that? Howard Stern? Or
no, I mean even bigger.
Conan O'Brien?
Keep going.
Joe
the biggest
Rogan?
One in the whole world. Man, well, I can't say anything. But anyway, so she's doing that. So she had to cut out super early, and she was like, "Oh no, I can't be away. You know, I got to get back for this and blah 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 blah." So I'm like, "All right, how about this?" I go, "How about we just do Saturday?" And she's like, "Oh, I'll think about it." And then I lucked out, man, because there was a flight that's direct from her house to here, and that comes in like at night, and it gets out early enough that she can do it, right? So she's like, "Okay," and we scheduled her for Saturday. But then I was talking to her and I was like, "Well, what about Friday? You are getting in a little bit early on Friday anyway. On Saturday, she was going to get in late in the morning and then only sign like 4 hours on Saturday."
Right.
So I was like, I'd love to stretch that out, and I'd love to get you in front of the fans at least a couple days. Friday, Saturday, the biggest days. We are in the Bible Belt. Sunday is always slower. So if you
Right.
don't like big crowds, I always suggest grabbing a Sunday ticket.
Right.
So she was like, well, the problem is I have this new Sack Off show, which is her podcast.
It's a good one
And she's
too.
like, yeah, it's a good one. And she goes, so I have to record that out in Portland on Friday night. And I'm like, well, it so happens that I have a really big stage, really great AV equipment. We go live every year. We stream, we do this, we do that. I go, any chance you'd think about just like recording it here and then people could watch it, or, and she's like, oh, that's a good idea. And then I got a list from her agent there, which was like, this is how much it costs. This is how you have to separate it and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I can't promise you we're going to sell it out, or anything like that. And she's like, it's fine. I just have to record it. So I was like, well, then that's great. So now she can sign for an hour on Friday evening before the con closes. So Friday people could still get their autographs. And then she's doing a live podcast recording from 7 till 9 p.m. on Friday night. You do have to grab a separate ticket for that, as it says there. It all goes to her. It's completely separate from us, but it's just, we had the equipment, and that way we get to hang out with Katie Sackhoff for a whole extra day. So that was exciting.
That's awesome.
But that's the promoter thing of it, man. That's running a convention. You have to think outside the box constantly. Because if you think inside the box, you'll get a garbage show.
This thing's cool, man. I didn't know until you posted it. That's really cool. She's doing the live recording podcast from ICC. That'll be some good traffic for y'all as well.
Yeah, totally, man. Well, also should grab a live audience out of it. And luckily, you know how it is, man. You've been a bunch of times, and you know me. It's always a top shelf show. Like, even if we're just recording a stage show, it's like we got everything.
You got all the stuff. I remember one year we went in there, you had Anthony Daniels on stage, and then they swapped out, and you had like Lando was there, Mr. Billy D. Williams, and everybody and anybody. And you have live music too, which is really cool.
We do have live music. Well, shoot, man, it's Music City. You got to have live music. So people do find that to be weird, though. They're walking around a convention and there's like a band rocking out, and it's actually become such a thing. We've had it since the first year, but it's become such a thing that the guest stars get in on it. So on Saturday night, a bunch of the guest stars that happen to be good at music get up there, and Stephen Constantino took the lead on this years ago.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, he played a Grammarian Guard in Return of the Jedi. He's also a great musician. And he took the lead on it, and he called the band the Con Men. So the Con Men play every Saturday evening at about 8-ish at ICCC. But during the day and stuff, you have band as well. We also, a couple years ago, we started with the circus. We have a circus. I don't know if you caught it, but it's, like in Ka or the Vegas shows where they fly from the streamers and stuff like that. And
Cirque du Soleil and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. So we have that. So if you catch the shows for that during the day, these are things that other conventions don't have. One thing that we have that no other convention in the world has, that is the most phenomenal thing if you actually go to conventions, is chairs. There's couches there's couches and stuff. If you want to hang out with your friends and talk, that's fine too. We're not a convention that wants to shove people in a line, eat up your entire day and your entire ticket, where you're just standing there doing nothing with your legs falling off. You know what I mean?
Waiting in lines and just not trying to diss any events, but a lot of events say just next. Yeah. Next. They have programming and stuff, but I love one of the things I love about ICCC is it has, a lot of the vendor halls and a lot of these events, while they're good, they have some comic book stuff. There's more modern stuff. They have the vintage stuff, the collectors, and that's your heavy backbone of collecting. Can you talk a little bit about some of the things you can, different topics and things you can find there? You also have, I believe, people connected to those old Kenner franchises and stuff like that, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this all started originally from the Imperial Commissary, which is a Facebook group about collecting old vintage Star Wars toys. It grew into 27 Facebook groups, and it got bigger and bigger, and we started having meetups. Those meetups started from 15 people, and by the time we were on our 12th, it was about 500 people. And that's when I said, all right, we'll throw a big meetup in Tennessee. And that big meetup in Tennessee, I was going to rent the room, and the lady that was renting the room was like, well, the room is 4,000 square feet, but if you get the rodeo arena attached to it, it's only another $10,000. So I said, sure, let's do it. Whatever.
Can't be
and well, at that time, I didn't know how much it cost to air condition 178,000 square feet for 3 days. I found out at the end.
Yeah.
It's right around a new 3 Series Mercedes. That's how much.
Shit.
But so we did that, and that's where ICC Con started. It originally wasn't even intended to be a con. It was just supposed to be a giant meetup. And then it started just snowballing. So this all came naturally. It's completely organic.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it so special. So as I was saying right at the beginning, it's 100% fan owned. So I own it. So what happens is the vendors, when they want to buy a vendor table, they have to submit to be approved.
Oh,
Unlike any other convention, you are not going to see somebody selling soap or spices or bean juice or ginseng gum but that's the reason why you see the highest end vintage collectibles at this show, because I have the collectible base. Those collectors know me from years,
internationally too, I believe.
Internationally. So that's why a lot of our vendors even come from different countries. We have a guy coming from Mexico that he paints pop culture figures on currency. And like Venezuelan dollars, Mexican dollar, pesos, stuff like that, all different countries. And he paints like Darth Vader on it and stuff like that, which is cool. And then we have another guy, Juan Pablo, that comes all the way from Argentina, flies 5,000 miles to vend at this show. And he makes exact miniature replicas of vintage figures.
Oh, wow.
But
like
they're
little mini, like the little mini,
so
like
tiny. Yeah, but they look perfect. You know what I mean? Very highly detailed.
That's
and
cool.
We do have other sellers that come from all over the world, Canada, Mexico, England. And the reason why is because this is the once a year where if you're into the rare, impossible to find things, everybody comes from everywhere. And they buy, sell, and trade, whether it's in the vendor room, whether it's in the lobby, whether it's a guy walking around with a backpack. It's like a huge show and tell for all the big nerds of the world. So we all come out, and that's why you see all the best stuff. But it's mostly because, I'm obnoxious. I own the whole thing, and I turned down the T-Mobile booths, and you will not see a rain gun.
There are a million T-Mobile booths. I forgot about this.
You're always walking around a con, man. You see that darn thing booth.
Verizon, too.
Yeah, and you're looking at it, and you're like, do I really need to be thinking about my cell phone plan right now? No. I don't need new insurance. I don't need to think about a trip on Singapore Airlines. So from a business perspective, it's not smart, but this isn't a business. This is fun. This is what I do for fun. I have real jobs. This is not one of them. And that's why we have the ability to approve or deny any vendor. And that's why you see the best vendors in the world at this show.
Really is. Some of the premiums. I mean, I was down there last year. I got a few treats, not going to lie. I bought a few treats.
Nice. You can't go through without doing it. But
you got 12 bags. Tell me about like the collecting. Let's focus on Star Wars. You got a lot of the rare stuff. Like this 12 back here, I believe. Talk a little bit about what you got. You got Kenner people coming. Talk about a little bit about the history of Kenner, what that is, and what
for sure. Well, what happened is because the Imperial Commissary is very no repro. It's an anti-repro group, so no fakes. It has to be legitimate stuff. We have a lot of the original designers, the toy designers, come to the show. We have panels that are dedicated to collectors. Like if you collect Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, there's a panel at Saturday at 5:00, I think, where it's the panels are up on the website.
So you have a panel on collecting turtles. That's gotta know that one.
Yeah, like collecting Ninja Turtles, or there's one that collecting Star Wars, or where else we have like Jim Swearingen, who is the principal designer, for example. Jim Swearingen, who was the principal designer at Kenner back in the day, he was actually the guy that gave us the Star Wars line, because originally the Star Wars script got passed around to every toy manufacturer in the world. Everybody denied George Lucas. They said, no way, I don't understand what you're talking about. It makes no sense.
Right.
Alan
Ladd Jr., though, you can thank him, though, too. A little bit.
Totally. And it ended up on Bernie Loomis's desk, the guy who used to run Kenner back in the day. Yeah. Bernie Loomis promptly picked it up, looked at it like every other toy designer, and threw it in the garbage. The thing is, Jim Swearingen happened to be in that room. So Jim Swearingen saw him throw it out. Jim was a huge sci-fi nerd at the time, said, do you care if I read it? He was like, you could have it. And Jim Swearingen took it home. He read it overnight, brought it back, put it on Bernie Loomis's desk, and said, we have to make this toy line. Yeah. And that's where the Kenner Star Wars toy line began. So he was the principal designer at Kenner during the entire Star Wars toy line. He's done a lot of other stuff too since. But his most recent design and creation is actually our exclusive figure for this year.
Oh, wow. Is that on the site? We could show that?
I don't know if it's up there yet, man. I haven't put up the pictures yet. I just got them in. They just got produced.
Who is
but
it?
we always do really limited stuff. Is there a way for me to share a picture or something?
Yeah, if you share it on Facebook, I'll blast it on us.
Okay, here, I'll pass it along to you. I literally just got over the pictures. I haven't built that. That was something else I was working on today. Let me just find
here.
Steve here. So Steve Radizak, he's made our custom figures for the past few years, but he brings them to life. And let me find you here, Owen. Hold on, brother.
There's me at Comic-Con. That's all this. I love speaking of those things, man. The last one we did was, I think we're doing another one maybe this year. It's kind of top secret, but last year was about the Orville, and Seth MacFarlane was nice enough to post our banner on his Instagram story for like 2 days.
That's awesome, dude. Those are always good.
He's a cool dude, man.
And here's one more.
What you got?
There you go. But so those Jim Swearingen actually created the design and everything, the name, and then our custom guy built them. So there's going to be 50 of those at the show. There's 3 different variants total.
Oh, wow.
50 total.
ICCC
so really
colors.
Oh, yeah. They're 100% custom, made from scratch. And that is the most recent figure designed by Jim Swearingen, and he has not created a figure for any company in the past 30 years because he's been retired.
Wow.
So it's a big deal, man. I mean, a really big deal. And there's 3 different variants, and they will be in blind boxes, so you can't choose the variants. And then there will be one secret one that will not be any of the variants, and that's randomly in one of those blind boxes. But there's 50 total, and you can only get them at the ICCCon store. But we do them every year. Like last year, you know what? I got one over here. Last year we did a collaboration.
Yeah, dude, I remember that one. That was dope.
That one was a collaboration with Ron Rudat, who's the guy who made all these G.I. Joe fire pictures, and also created pretty much every G.I. Joe that's the vintage ones.
Yeah.
So anything from like 1984 through 96 or something like that.
Yeah.
But what happens is then they put their stuff in the back. There's Ron right there. Yeah. And then this is mine, so it's number 1. And then there's his signature because he signs it. So the same thing with Jim Swearingen. So we have these actual real designers, and this thing, excuse me, but this thing is like hand painted, hand detailed. It has rivets just like a G.I. Joe from the 80s. It's very, very nice.
Because I remember the 82s were straight arm, and you had the 80, they had the swivel or whatever.
Yeah. This has the
probably swivel.
This is swivel. Yep, swivel.
Straight arms are like just
he makes them all from scratch and then paints them all. So it's excessively time invasive, but they're ridiculously beautiful. They're not like a custom you find on eBay for $40, you know.
So those are like you would find the original like G.I. Joes, but with the awesomeness of that limited edition goodness.
And then you get the crossover, the Star Wars G.I. Joe thing, and it's never been done. And then you get Ron Rudat, who is literally the guy that invented the Cobra insignia. You know what I mean? Like. Yeah. And that's the same thing with Jim Swearingen here, except very, very Star Wars-esque, because Jim was the big Star Wars guy. But we always try to get some kind of collaboration with these old school designers and stuff, because they made the toys we loved back in the day. Obviously, whatever they make today is something we're going to love too. So we try to make it really, really special with everything we do. And there's a bunch of different designers there. There's Tim Effler. He's the guy. He's made about 400 different toys. But he came up with the, the logo for Jurassic Park with the dinosaur, the Tyrannosaurus.
Yeah, the big Tyrannosaurus.
Yeah, that's him. And that's actually a funny story. What happened is Kenner was pitching to Spielberg. And I just happened to notice I had dinner with him once, and he told me this story.
You had dinner with Spielberg?
No, I wish, right? No, with Tim Effler. So one step away. If we're doing 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, I'm close.
Right.
But so he's telling me the story, and he goes, all right, so Spielberg came in to see the Jurassic Park toy line because he made the Jurassic Park toy line for Kenner. And when he came in, he took a bunch of old G.I. Joe Jeeps, and he drew a picture on the side of the G.I. Joe Jeeps. Genius. Spielberg saw it, said, who owns that? He goes, I made it for this. You can have it. And that's how Kenner secured the Jurassic Park toy line. Every single one of those pictures is originally Tim Effler's that he gave to Spielberg, which is so iconic. I mean, it's been on every poster.
That's awesome. Wow.
But all these guys have stories like that. You know what I mean? We have Freddie Freddie Thoman, who's another Kenner guy,
Mhm.
and he was in charge of the '90s Batman line. He did a couple of the Kenner's play sets. He was one of the first
Okay.
guys on with Nerf guns.
Little foam gun
So,
thing, little swords. Yeah.
yeah. But those kind of guys we have come. Ron Rudad will be there again. G.I. Joe. But we have those guys come too because we are all this nonsense here stands for Imperial Commissary Collectors Convention. So it is about the collectibles, truly. The guest stars are just, well, I mean, it's a big convention, so it's like owning a coffee shop. Even if I don't drink creamer, you better have creamer because somebody's going to want it. And the guest stars are our creamers. So that's why we make sure to always bring in an awesome list of guest stars for the people that might not be huge toy nerds like me.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about the guest list you'll have this year. We've got it here on the screen. They've got a whole bunch of goodies here. You've got, of course, Katie we talked about.
Yep.
And Brendan, go through some of the highlights of the lineup here.
Yeah, well, Katie's massive, obviously.
Yeah.
She's Starbuck, and she's also Bo-Katan from The Mandalorian. And then we have the actual Mandalorian. I know everybody goes Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal is actually technically, this is another nerd thing you're seeing here. Technically, he's kind of like a voice actor and just does it when the helmet's off.
Right.
Most of the rest of the time, it's Brendan Wayne in that thing. And that's why he walks like a cowboy, because Brendan Wayne is actually the grandson of John Wayne. So he
makes sense.
he
Yeah,
is the Mandalorian. Yeah. But every time he's in the suit, it's practically always Brendan Wayne. So that's why we got him, because we are the nerds. We want the Mandalorian, not the guy that has the pretty face.
That's awesome.
But Brendan Wayne is awesome. So he's another guest star there, and a little bit of Mando action to start it off. Yeah. And then we go into, I don't know who's next. You're gonna have to scroll for me. Warwick Davis, who's literally been in every major franchise like ever. Harry Potter, The Leprechaun, Star Wars, everything, man. Willow. Tons of stuff. He actually just got a BAFTA this year.
I saw that. Yeah, it was a beautiful speech. I saw that.
Yeah, it was a good one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He's great, man. But sweetheart, really nice guy. And this is another one of those nerd things. Harrison Davis. I'm not sure if he's ever done another con, but he played an Ewok in the
Rise of Skywalker.
TFAs. Yeah, the Rise of Skywalker, exactly. And what happened is I actually became buddies with Warwick, which was cool. So it's a trip to be able to call up Warwick Davis and be like, "Hey, bro, how you doing?" You know. And so I asked him. I was like, I know Harrison, I know he doesn't really do this much, but the father-son Ewok angle for this particular convention would be super fun, and we would love it. Do you think there's any chance? And he said, let me ask him. And then he asked them, and so yeah, they're going to come out, and then they're going to go down and do Disney World after. So they're going to have a family vacation. Awesome. But we were like, because that's something we want, as collectors, you want the ones that are rare and impossible to get. And that's one of those for sure.
We got our buddy here of the channel, Justin Tony says, "Yo,
what's up, Justin? How you doing?"
Doing pretty good. I hope so. He looks like we just got back from several things. Universal Fan Fest nights,
nice
launch party where we're there for media covering that. That was awesome. We got not Star Wars, Star Trek. We did that. Back to the Future. What else?
Well, we're not Star Wars exclusive.
Oh,
remember, we started off with Shatner a million years ago.
Oh, yeah. Well, we just interviewed him recently at the Saturn Awards. Super cool question. I mean, I had to load something up big time.
He's amazing, man.
Oh, he's cool,
consummate professional. I think he's awesome.
We've got a lot of content coming from. We got one with RoboCop, Peter Weller.
Nice.
Tons. LeVar Burton. We got the montage on there. We got a whole bunch of stuff coming. Stay tuned. But the guest lineup for ICC is extensive. You got other actors, like you said, from other franchises. You've got
tons.
The Ninja Turtles. There's some. You got Star Wars.
Yeah, we're doing the largest ninja Star Wars theory. He's massive in the Star Wars world. Massive. He YouTube influencer and stuff like that. And he's coming.
I love his backdrop and his studio. It's just very modern and clean. I always love that.
Yeah, studio. He has cool stuff.
Yeah. He does sabers, and I think he's doing a fan film or Vader or something too, isn't he?
Yeah, he did the Shards of something, or I don't remember what it was called, but it was awesome. And he is coming out with the second one. It's supposed to be October, I think. Yeah, that he's going to drop the second one. And then sick. Next up is James Saito, which is the
original Shredder.
Yeah, dude.
He was
And
also in the where he was in that military picture there. That was something else. I believe.
yeah, Pearl Harbor.
Yes, Pearl Harbor. Yeah.
Yeah. Also Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's been in a long career.
Yeah,
But what we
Splinter.
did is I wanted to get because it's the 35th anniversary of the original Ninja Turtles movies.
Oh wow.
So I wanted to get a reunion, and I didn't know this, but this like never happens. I have all 4 Ninja Turtles, Shredder, Splinter, and April O'Neil, and usually it's a couple turtles or 3 turtles or 3
Just
turtles
wild.
and Splinter or something. But I didn't know because I
Never
have this
seen that
thing,
before at any event. All the live action ones. Never seen that.
which is cool, you know. So I try to make it. See, this is where you were saying before about the collectibles and collector type thing. I try to make it easy, man. If you have an awesome poster of like the Secret of the Ooze or the
Ooh.
original poster or something, and you want to just knock it out in a day, that's what I try to do. But you've always seen how I do those reunions where if you have
yeah,
the awesome poster,
super
you can
cool.
finish it in a day, you know? And so I didn't know that that's not a normal thing for them all to come. So I just hunted them down and was like, hey, do you care? And they're like, yeah, sure, why not? So we even have
Either bring them in alive or bring them in cold, like
yeah, man.
man.
But we even have a special after hours event, a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pizza party,
Cool.
where you can meet all the turtles and have pizza with them and watch the movies. So it's going to be a trip, dude.
Very cool.
It might be. Yep, there you go.
Oh, there it is. Oh, it's cool. I like the banner on that. Reunion. There it is.
Yeah.
Double. You're going to show the movies too. Okay, cool. That's my wow.
Yeah, so it's like a nice long event on Saturday night, and you get to meet all the turtles and hang out with all the turtles, and they'll do a Q&A, and they'll also have pizza. So it's going to be a nice pizza party. And shout out to Bombaz Pizza, who's hooking us up with the pies. So thank
you, Bombaz, for the pizza pie. Goodness. That's
yeah, we ain't going to just throw Little Caesars at you. Nothing wrong with a Little Caesars pizza.
No, I Caesar. That's awesome, man. So the event, first off, what are the dates? You got 12 days, 15 hours, 32 minutes, and 50 seconds going.
Yeah, May 16th through 18th. So coming on up, man, just less than 2 weeks away.
Very cool. I got to ask, we got a lot of, sci-fi, you got Ninja Turtles, you get a little bit of everything. Star Wars. Let's get back to Star Wars. I'll let me see. Yeah. We got a lot of Star Wars fans on the digital grid. First off, you've seen some of the new shows. Have you seen Andor? Well, I'm only on episode 4 now, so don't spoil.
I have caught up with Andor.
What about Ahsoka? Ray Stevenson, man. Let's talk about him. I was really excited to hear
he's awesome. He's awesome. He was awesome, and God rest his soul. But it's funny. I got this friend, Tony from England, and he's a Star Wars collector, and he looks like the spitting image of him. So I was like, dude, you gotta like write Lucasfilm or something, or give it a shot. And he never did. But no, I like
what we got here. We got Balin Skull's actual, not the real.
That's cool, dude. I liked it. I liked Ahsoka pretty good. Grand Admiral Thrawn is like my favorite character in the world.
Oh,
so
man.
my jury is out until he gets a new outfit and fins up and gets back to Coruscant or something. You know what I mean? Like, I maybe it's because he's been stuck out in the wilderness for so long with the little scuffs on his collar. But for Grand Admiral Thrawn that I know, that's like,
did you hear the news about what they're going to do with him?
No.
Okay. So Dave Filoni, from his mouth, says the last 4 episodes of the new Ahsoka season 2. You ready for this? I don't know if any fans know this. If you're watching, there's going to be a massive. There's a lot actually pointing. I actually bumped up when I mentioned this. The Admiral Akbar is going to go head to head in a 4-episode space battle with Grand Admiral Thrawn. That's what we told. As a setup celebration. I was like, wow.
I wonder how Akbar is going to escape with his life because Thrawn would win.
Might even take out Thrawn. Who knows what's going to happen?
No
somebody's going to maybe.
Dude, if he takes out Thrawn, then I'll give you my answer on how I like the Ahsoka show.
We got to give old Akbar justice. He got sucked out into space in the Last Jedi. I was kind of sad.
He did, man.
Like, he should have been the one to do the Haldor maneuver, the Akbar maneuver. That's what it should have been. Light speed goodness. Man.
I guess, dude, that's not how light speed work. We all know that drove me nuts. Because it's like, dude, why wouldn't you just take out the first Death Star by taping a brick to an X-wing going into hyperspace? You know, I don't know.
It was technically Luke. I mean, a lot of people have controversy on this, but I know Luke literally used the Force to project the proton of this. He was saying that. He was saying to in the briefing, he's like, "Well, I have bullseye womp rats, and they're less than meters on my home."
2 meters.
Yeah, Skyhopper. which was the original shuttle Tidarium. Most people, some people know that.
Yeah, kind of. The T-16 Skyhopper for sure, dude. Yep.
Yeah, that was a cool ship. I like the Tidarium, just the cool ship in general.
Yeah,
General Nadine and Minnie Bothans died to bring us that information. But the overall impact of Star Wars, just curious. I mean, where do you see that going? It's going to be the 50th anniversary in 1977 to 2027. It's a lot of many years. What do you see? What would you like to see? In the future of, let's say, the next 2 or 3 years up until the 50th, what kind of things would you like to see them develop, live action or animation or something?
Yeah, to be honest, brother, my favorite thing would be if they did a movie.
That'd be cool.
I think that all these live actions are great and everything like that. There's certain things that I don't know. There's certain episodes of every live action one that I'll probably never watch again in my life. I've watched the movies, all the movies, countless times, and I don't know. But I'm also older, so I understand that everybody is living in a YouTube, Netflix world where they want media on demand all the time and fresh new stuff.
Right.
But there's something to be said for watching an epic movie. And the way you feel during and after it. And I would love for them to do something with that, but maybe they will with The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yeah.
Even with
Andor,
filming,
man. By the way, it's wrapped filming.
It has wrapped filming. Yeah. Well, we had Brendan Wayne was supposed to come last year, but he had to call out because they were filming and he couldn't make it for the show. So he's like, I'll come back next year. So I called him and I was like, you done with that show yet? And he's like, yeah, man. And I'm like, well, come on out. And that's why we got him this year.
We actually ran into Barry Lowen a few weeks ago down there, and he was down over one in Mississippi.
Yep.
He's the other Mando, and he, of course, got Pedro, who's the voice, and then when he takes off the helmet.
Yeah, Barry's more the stunt Mando.
Right, he's the stunt guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, and of course you got Brendan Wayne as the main
Mando in the action or not
he is Mando.
All the walking, talking stuff shots, like that. And then you got Pedro in a booth somewhere, being like, "Hey, I'm the Mandalorian."
So, which brings up another cool topic. You've got a lot of Star Wars fans into Maul, Darth Maul, and I love Maul or Maul, Darth Maul. So, and a lot of people are like, when they saw Episode 1, we never would have thought he would ever come back, and there he is for a whole arc of the Rebels, and you've got him in Clone Wars, and
I thought they should have brought him back in the Boba Fett show, man. Remember all those kids on speeder bikes that everybody really didn't like much?
Because like a solo story,
half robot.
Yeah.
And he's half robot now because he's got those spider legs or the metal legs now.
So
they're coming out with that Darth Maul show. That looks like it could be cool, but
that's going to be cool. Maul, Shadow Lord or something like that.
Yeah, but they're doing it cartoon again. And I don't know, man. I think Sam Witwer can easily be live action Darth Maul. I mean,
he's
awesome. I think with the makeup, I think he could do it. I don't know. Like I'm excited for the cartoon. I do watch the cartoons. I like a lot of the cartoons. Rebels was my favorite.
Yeah.
But I really want all right, for example, Andor. You've watched a bunch of episodes.
Oh yeah, what's some Andor?
The reason why they're dropping the 3 at a time is because if you really watch it, man, like one of those episodes, you kind of could do without most of it.
Right.
It's neat, but it's not really pushing the story along or building the characters or anything like that. So I think that's why they do that now, is because if you just watch episode 1 of Andor, great. If you watch episode 2, you're probably, if it was alone and you waited a week for it, you'd probably be like, oh, nothing happened. Right. And that's fine if you're watching like NYPD Blue. Star Wars. You know what I mean? It's not supposed to be 30,000 episodes over 40 seasons.
They dropped these seasons are way less now. They're like 50% less. Like when you used to have stuff in the 90s, it was like 22, 24 episodes.
Yeah.
So maybe 12 if you're lucky, or maybe 10 now.
But they're more like, what is it? Mini series or whatever. The first one to do that was, Band of Brothers, which was phenomenal.
Battlestar.
It's like that Band of Brothers format, where you get a bunch of 1-hour shows and that's it. For my reasoning behind the Darth Maul thing is Solo. I loved Solo.
The end of that, because he was in the end of that. Remember, he came in the hologram.
Where's Solo 2? Bring me Solo 2. I want it desperately. It's not my fault you guys didn't do great with The Last Jedi and you put a patch on it by throwing out Solo too early with a different director. Like, Solo was a cool movie, man. It got a lot of bad press because it came so close to the last, or what was it? The
one of them, yeah. I think
Last Jedi.
Last Jedi.
Yeah. But So I don't know. I want Solo back. So if you're ever signing a petition for Solo, you let me know. You got my signature.
Nice. Yeah, I hope they were talking about doing a Lando series too with what's his
They
name?
were.
They're doing that.
Childish Gambino. I don't know his real name. That's
Golly. His brother and him were talking about it, about doing that. But yeah, I was hoping to see that as well. As Lando's a very interesting character. I mean, if you
I think he did
about,
great in Solo.
Oh yeah, I was
think he
thinking
played great,
about
you know.
what's this guy's name? I forget. He's a cool cat. But anyway, so I was thinking about this. If you think about this real hard, who was the real hero of Star Wars that really saved everybody?
R2D2.
Him too, but Lando. Think about it. So Lando not only saved Han and Luke because he rescued him too. You remember from Cloud City, he saved Han and helped him out. Then he comes in Rise of Skywalker and then saves the entire everybody. And then there you go.
Yeah, I like Lando, man. And we had Billy D. Williams last year. I think?
Last year, I believe. Yeah.
He was literally the smoothest, coolest dude I've ever met in my entire real life.
Yeah.
He was always on, man, like smooth shades and smooth scarf and just being smooth. You know what I mean? Like Lando, I don't even know if he was acting so much there as they just kind of filmed him. And that's
kind of basically she likes to find the things in life like a nice cool 45. So
yeah, man. Yeah. No, he was even doing that. He was signing those, and he usually doesn't sign those. But he was having such a swell time by the end of the show. And that's the thing. The guest stars really open up at our show because we're like just nerds, not like eBay flippers that are going to just go force them to
passionate collectors and very into all the different franchises.
And they end up being cool and hanging out. And that's why we get so many of our special stories, where you have Angus McGinnis, the gold leader, God rest his soul. But you got pictures of him hanging out in people's rooms, sitting on their bed, playing with a Y-Wing. You know what I mean? And he was a Y-Wing pilot. That doesn't really happen other places, but it's because they are there to work. At our show, they're there to hang out.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Very cool, man. I love the ICCC motif and everything about, it's not corporations. It's just about having fun and fandom and passion and all the cool stuff. You also have a new project you were telling me about, and I've been researching.
IC for Life Charity.
Yeah, IC for Life. Can we talk a little about that? What's going on with that?
ICforlifecharity.org, if you want to flip to it. It's our federally licensed nonprofit charity. And what it does is it takes care of collectors if they happen to pass away unexpectedly. Running all the Facebook groups and stuff like that. Also, it raises money to forward and build what we do, the collectible world, to teach others about it, to bring more activities and events all around the world. And what it does is, in the event of someone's passing that is a member of IC for Life, in the event of their passing, if they're a member, what we do is we go get their collection from their next of kin, and then we sell it properly because we are collectors. So they get a lot more money out of it. And then the buyer's premiums and a small fee, less than eBay, go to IC for Life, which in turn builds more programs like anything, whether it's outreach, whether it's a toy show, whether it's a meetup, whether it's a blah, blah, blah. But the whole reason why I originally started it is because with running all the Facebook groups, when someone passes away unexpectedly, I tend to be the guy that gets the messenger message. And in the messenger message, it says, Mike, I don't know how to say this, but blah, 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 passed away. And I feel terrible and I don't know what to do. And he has an entire room full of old toys, and I don't know how to sell them. I don't even know what they're called. And I really didn't have a way to help those people. And it's obviously feel terrible when you find out. And I always end up being the first guy to find out since I run the group, and I feel terrible. And then I'm like, well, I feel terrible for them. How can I help? But with this platform and with how much we do in the collecting world, what we're doing is we're building an auction. So there will be in memoriam auctions.
Oh, wow.
And those in memoriam auctions sell these collections. We had a IC member that passed away a couple years back. His name was Robert Kilpatrick. And that's what started me thinking about building this. And it takes forever to get a legit federally licensed nonprofit charity. It's easy to get one locally, but it's hard to get the federal one.
You need a corporation, I believe. You need to apply for a 501c3 stuff.
You need lots of stuff, brother. You need a corporation, board of directors. You need a whole different tax system. You need accounting. You need lawyers. You need it's like we have the same exact certification as Susan G. Komen Foundation. Like,
Wow,
that's
there you
how
go. That's good stuff.
difficult it is to get this.
Mhm.
It is not just like some pop-up kind of church or something like
'Cause
that.
this is a
That,
national foundation. It's a big,
correct.
yeah.
So what that allows us to do is it allows us to help out these families
Yeah.
after the fact. And that way we get the most out of it so they can get the most money out of it instead of them selling something that might be worth $10,000 for $50 because they don't know any better.
Right, and that's good money
You
they
know,
can have if they're widowed or their family can have for, their kids, and yeah, I get what you're saying.
exactly. So that's the true nature of it. But it does other things as well. It does a lot of community outreach and stuff like that on the back end from the
Very
funds from that end.
What,
Um,
kind of community stuff we talking about, like outreach-wise, and what sectors, what kind of stuff?
Yeah, like whether it's toy shows or whether it's ICC Con or whether it's events, because what the other purpose of this is it builds a board of direct. There you go. There's some things.
Yeah.
Eventually, the IC Museum. Eventually, a
Oh, that's
place
gonna be
for us to
sick.
do conventions,
Yeah.
where we can have other. See, the problem is with conventions, for example, if you're not owned by Informa in one of these massive conventions, then it is hard for you to get places to throw your convention.
Right.
So this way, if we had our own convention center, we would be able to have sneaker conventions and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle conventions and all these other things.
All the good stuff.
Can't usually afford the place. And
What,
depending,
what square foot, no, if you had to just rough ball guess, how many galactic credits would it take to build something like that, if you had to guess?
actually the number is about 10.2 million.
10.2, that's not that much.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I would want to build it where it also had either a hotel on site or
Okay.
individual living cabins on site. So that way we can really keep this feel of the community and the sleepover going
Mhm.
there as well. But it wouldn't just be for ICC Con, it would be for anyone that helps grow the collecting hobby. Because see, here's what the special thing is about collectibles. Sure, they're fun, sure they're neat, sure they remind us of their childhood. Everyone has tough real lives. Real life is tough.
For sure.
And we escape with our collections or our lightsabers or our toys or stuff like that.
Yeah.
This will ensure that there's always a place for those people that grow that community to go.
Yeah.
And the final thing that IC for Life nonprofit is going to eventually do is take over with the board of directors and everything, take over ICCC. Because I'm not going to last forever. I hope I last another 100 years. If I don't, I want ICCC and I want IC for Life to last forever because I feel it's a necessity for the community.
For sure.
The only way to do that is to make sure there's someone else to be able to pay for all the things that I pay for, because you know how it is, man. All our guest stars, we charge exactly what they charge. We don't tack on fees. We don't tack on money. We don't
Just
tack
what
on
the
this.
flat rate is for what they charge to come to the event. Yeah.
We try to make it as minimal as possible, and we don't add on that money. So there is no real profit in ICCC. You know what I mean? It's not like we're making $1 million a year like these other places.
The big corporations, they have their investors and they have all the big, like, they're trying to maximize profits. I get what you mean.
Well, you need somebody to pay for the rainforest for your boardroom, and we do not have that.
Right.
We're more than happy to do it on a fold out from Walmart for $12.
Yeah.
So, but it'll allow eventually this whole thing to continue on once I can't do it anymore. Because no matter what way you cut it, yes, we don't make money, we don't do this, but still doesn't change the fact when I walk in and say I want to rent your entire hotel and they give me that giant number, I have to kind of just write a check out of my pocket. And if there isn't somebody in my stead eventually that can write that check, then everything I've built dies. And everything these other collectors and promoters and stuff like that build dies. So somebody needs to always have the big old Amex card, and that'll eventually be IC for Life instead of me, just in case anything ever happens to me. Because it really is.
There's forever for life. That's awesome, dude. Love it.
There's no corporate. There's no other people behind me. There's no extras. There's no if I kick the bucket, it's my wife running it, and she can do it. But God forbid. So that's what IC for Life will eventually do. But for the time being, it'll be able to get more money into the families of collectors that pass away unexpectedly.
Which is fantastic. I love that. For people, right before we end the broadcast, what are the dates of ICCC and where is it being held at? Embassy and I believe outside of Nashville?
Yeah, it's May 16th through 18th, and it is at the Embassy Suites Hotel and Convention Center by Hilton, and that is Nashville Southeast. That's what, if you're Googling it, you got to do Embassy Suites Nashville Southeast in Murfreesboro, and it's in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. It's just a suburb of Nashville, and the reason why I picked it, it's actually funny. I went to go to this convention center 4 years ago. I was looking for another place. And I was like, that place is beautiful. That would be perfect. And I love the way Embassy Suites are set up because you have that lobby with the big tower in the middle and you can see over.
Up and everything.
Yeah. So I loved it. But on CVent, which is where you look if you're a promoter to see how big a place is, I looked and it's only listed as 12,000 square feet. And I was like, that'll never work. Forget it. So I ignored it. And I was driving by it when I was looking for another venue because our last one was too small. And I was driving by it and I'm like, there's no way that's only 12,000 square feet. So I walked in it and I looked around and it's actually 60,000 square feet of convention space.
Wow. Because you got a convention center attached to it. Like, oh, wow.
It's massive. Yeah. Literally, you walk down the elevator or you go down the elevator, you get out and you take a right and there's the convention center.
Well, that's the perfect amount of square feet.
Dude, it's a perfect diamond in the rough. And you've been to the other one and it was kind of like a campus feel. So if you wanted a burger in the middle of the day, you'd have to go drive 2 miles or a mile and a half. This one, you walk out the front door and there's like Subway and Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks and sushi and everything else you can think of in the world. Bombaz Pizza. Yeah, sure enough. Pitch it. But it's just, I think that this is going to make it so much more of a special experience. And we have the bar crawls and we have the circus at night and we have the burlesque show and we have church on Sunday. And there's a million different things that these collectors come to me and they go, hey man, would it be okay if I do church on Sunday? And I said, yeah, sure, dude. Why not? What do I care? I'm not there till 10. If you want to do church at 8 a.m., go nuts. You know, if you want to do this at night, if you want to do that at night or during the day. And that's what we do. It's a real community feel. And because it is like that, it gives people with the opportunity, or it gives people the opportunity that have great ideas and stuff that they can do to join and grow this hobby. And it gives them the opportunity to have a space that they would never be able to rent on their own. Because it's like, sure, here's a $40,000 a day room. Have fun with $30,000 worth of AV equipment. Go ahead, enjoy. You know, that's what makes it so special. That's what makes so many wonderful things happen at these events, and that's what makes it such a special event for people to go to, and so different than anything else. I hate that it's called a convention. We have to call it that so people understand. It's an experience. It is an immersive experience. You aren't going to run into T-Mobile. You're not going to be. Somebody ain't going to try to sell you onion dip. I mean,
or soap or whatever. You know?
Or soap or whatever, man. Nothing against soap sellers. I mean, I take a shower like everybody else, but I'm not looking for a new cell phone plan, a new insurance, or my new brand of soap when I'm at a convention.
That's awesome, man. Well, Michael, I want to thank you for coming on the show today to talk about all the awesomeness. I'll see you at ICCC, man.
Thanks for having me, brother, and thanks for being a sponsor this year. I sure do appreciate it, man. And we'll have a nice big banner up there for you. So when you get in, make sure you take a picture in front of that SciFiction banner and send it over to Owen here. He'll be appreciative of it.
Will do, brother. You take care, man. May the force be with you always, man.
Always.
Peace.